This is From the 50. We're live on TikTok here on this Tuesday night, I guess you could say. TJ Weber, Nick Yale live on From the 50 for did I say week 5? I keep saying week 5. Week 6 of the NFL. Nick, biggest storyline, I think, right now. Jay Jetta's out at least 4 games on the IR. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, a good opportunity for the rookie Jordan Addison to step up and be a big-time playmaker. And you also get KJ Osborne, who's going to be available on a lot of your waiver wires out there. Grab him if you haven't yet, just to stash him there because he could be a good flex option. I don't know if he's a flex option, maybe a flex option in deeper leagues. But
yeah,
nonetheless, I think the Jay Jetta going down is a huge loss for the Vikings, who are not doing great so far this season.
No, you really hate to see it as a Lions fan. Also, the Packers just getting embarrassed by the Raiders last night. I mean, Nick, it's our year. I'll be that guy. It's our year.
But
just the way it is. It's fantastic. It's nice to know that. You know what I mean?
Well, your division is a little weak, right? I think it's a bit shaky, but you got the gauntlet of your schedule. You played some weak teams to start the year, but nonetheless, it's going to be a tougher slate coming up, and that'll be the real
test, Nick. Test.
Real test. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes,
Thank you.
Tough word to figure out. You guys get involved here on TikTok, as a lot of people are asking questions about fantasy. Is that the football god we hear? That's from Commander Devin.
God. I love that.
It's got to be me, right? I mean, I'm in first with the panel. Like, it makes a lot of sense. I don't think it would be you.
No, it's me.
Okay.
Question streaming in here.
Cole said, should I do CD and Gibbs for Jay Jettas and Connor? So people trying to go low right now on Jay Jettas and trying to make it work. What do you think?
It's a hamstring. Okay, so the hamstring injury is always tricky because this is what Jamar had last year, and it's one of those things where it's just like it's a real gamble because they just go week over week. You think he's going to play. You're going to have questionable next to his name for every week.
Yeah.
I think Jettas, did they put him on IR?
They did put him on IR, so he's out at least 4 weeks, and that's
he's out 4 weeks.
You're getting close to like fantasy playoff level if you're going to wait for him that long.
I'm probably not going to. I'm probably going to keep CD and Gibbs on that one.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I've had my brother. We've been playing fantasy football a long time. I taught him everything he knows, Nick. And the kid still tried to get Jahmyr Gibbs for me this week, and he tried to get Kyren Williams. Guess what he offered me? Deebo Samuel and who's the running back for the Broncos? It doesn't matter anymore. Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Who in their right mind takes that trade? So guess what he does? I appreciate the hustle. He took Gibbs off the trade and still trying to trade those two for Kyren Williams. Nick, I'm still not doing it. I don't like Deebo.
Yeah, no, Deebo isn't getting a whole lot of time there in San Francisco. Brandon Ayuk's been the guy. George Kittle getting worked into the offense right now with 3 touchdowns in the last game, and I have his season long on Prize Picks more than 5.5 touchdowns, and he gets 3 finally. So that was a big, a nice little boost for me on Prize Picks with the season long entry for George Kittle.
Yeah, no, George Kittle going off. That people were waiting for that one. That took a long time, but it worked itself out. That for sure. Would you trade DK and James Cook and Josh Reynolds for Aaron Jones and D-Hop? Absolutely not, man. Aaron Jones has been a non-factor in fantasy, and D-Hop has not done what people expected. I think that's a terrible trade. I think DK.
Oh yeah,
that's
a terrible trade all around. I think Aaron Jones, even when he does play, hasn't been old Aaron Jones, and D-Hop. He did have a good week last week, so his value is a little bit higher right now. But if you have DK and James Cook, that's definitely better. Even though James Cook and Josh Reynolds, I don't really love as starters on a team, but DK alone, I think I would rather have than Aaron Jones and D-Hop.
Yeah, I think that's fair. How do you see Gabe Davis doing moving forward? He has a touchdown 4 weeks in a row. It's from Dale. Yeah, Nick, and I traded his ass week 2, I think.
Man, you know what? The Gabe Davis fantasy owners are happy right now, but there always is going to be that week where Gabe Davis takes a little bit of a step back. I think right now he's a must start every week, both Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs for Bills owners, because even in the situation like last week, they lost last week, but Josh Allen is still Josh Allen. He's top 5 fantasy, probably top 3 fantasy quarterback right now, so he's getting the ball to both those guys. I think Gabe Davis must start week in, week out.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the Bills is, I don't think I think they're beatable. That's what they showed in London, but I also think the Jaguars are really good in London. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's basically their second home. I mean, they're there every year, basically.
They're used to playing over there, and they got a good head coach in Doug Peterson. So I mean,
Peterson.
He's got them right.
Peterson. Who says Pedersen? No one in their right mind says Pedersen.
Peterson. Tomato.
Same question I get every single week. This is from Cole. Should we worry about Gibbs? Well, I've been telling you to be patient, Nick. At this point, I'm kind of done being patient. But I'm still keeping him. I'm keeping him. I'm not patient anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if you can trade him. I would say you just haven't seen enough. But I think he's one of those guys in the second half of the season, or if Montgomery slips up, gets banged up with an injury, like he could show his flash and then be the guy. Like right now, it's not really helpful for 2023 fantasy owners. If you have him in Dynasty or something a little bit longer, you're fine. But right now, I'd probably get rid of him because he's kind of like how DeAndre Swift was last year for the Lions, where it's like there was a lot of expectation coming in and didn't really live up to it. And so there's better guys out there that you can get that you should be starting than Jahmyr Gibbs right now.
Yeah, it's just hard because right when you get rid of him, I know for a fact that he will have a breakout week the minute you don't start him.
It's a chance you got to be willing to take, though.
I mean, that's your opinion, and your opinions kind of suck.
You're a biased Lions fan. I'm saying as an unbiased observer of fantasy football.
No, it's not a biased Lions fan. This is a football fan. This is a guy who's number one in the pick'em. This is a guy who's 3-2 in fantasy. Like, Lions fan. Sure, I'm a Lions fan, but like, come on, Nick, I know my stuff.
Good talking about your Lions and answer some more questions. We got tons rolling in.
Dude, I love this. 148 people watching us. You guys can follow From the 50. Big Web's video is going viral. I mean, millions of views.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Millions of views. People love the Big Weber Wednesday parlays.
Gotta love it. It's beautiful stuff. So go ahead and follow. We're gonna have more stuff coming out on From the 50. Appreciate you guys tuning in. All right, Sean says Devontae Smith and Monty for JJ. Who wins? Devontae Smith and Monty.
And is that David Montgomery?
David Montgomery for JJ, it looks like, which is, wow.
I mean, I like the trade even with Jay Jettas on, injured reserve if you have somebody else to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very high on Devontae Smith, so I think even 4 weeks of Justin Jefferson being gone is better than Devontae Smith. And David Montgomery, man, he's a good running back. He's a solid fantasy running back right now.
Yeah, I think that's actually not
a bad. I
like
Jefferson better.
Yeah, I like Jefferson better too, but I like both sides of the trade kind of because with Jefferson being out 4 weeks or whatever, I mean that's big and it is massive. So I don't hate it. I do not hate it. By the way, chat, help me out. Someone give me a thumbs up if you can hear Nick on the other side. I know you guys can hear me, but if you guys can hear Nick talking, give me a thumbs up in the chat. We'd really appreciate it. We're testing some new audio stuff out, and we don't make enough money where I can actually hire somebody to do this shit, unfortunately. So
there you go. There's a thumbs up. We're good.
All right, good deal. Good deal. Killian says, I got Mahomes, Brees, and Amari Cooper for T-Law, Zach Moss, Debo, and Nico. Did I win? Hold on a second. I got Mahomes, Brees Hall, and Amari Cooper for T-Law, Zach Moss, Debo, and Nico. Did I win?
For Zach, T-Law, Zach Moss, Debo, and Nico. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think Brees Hall is going to eventually long-term going to give you more fantasy output than Zach Moss is. I don't like Debo at all.
Yeah.
And I like Amari Cooper over Nico, and I obviously like Mahomes better than T-Law. So, yeah, I would say you won.
Yeah, I like that. I agree with that. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Jay. What's going on, Jay? Jay!
Hey, Webb, how's it going?
What's going on, man? How we doing?
Man, just coming off a big week from, shout out the 49ers. Went big on the 49ers, and they came in clutch.
Yeah.
So.
I will say I'll take credit for that one. I called it. I think Dallas is kind of shitty. I'll be honest.
Yeah, whoever said Dallas was, I don't know what they were smoking. I want to smoke what they smoked.
That was me. Yeah, that was me. I live down here in Dallas, and just trying to get one back on an island here.
You're better off. They're better off putting in Cooper Rush, man. I love that guy, man.
Yeah,
they were. Hey, I'm a big Trey Lance guy, so hopefully they get down to Trey Lance at some point.
But yeah, I've been trying to get on the on the show. It's been a couple weeks, but Big Web, man, I've been riding Big Web's parlays. I've been loving it.
The guy's going viral. I mean, he's an internet superstar now. We can't even keep up with him.
It's about time, man. It's about time that Big Web goes viral.
People see the value in Big Web, man. He's
electric.
Videos,
man. I'm loving it. I'm always tell Big Web's Big Web's parlays.
Hell yeah. No, he's doing good, man. And yeah, hopefully, unfortunately, with me being also the audio engineer, we fixed the phone lines, I think, officially. So we should be good for this Sunday.
Hey, how about them Lions?
Yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. It's great. It's just, being a Jaguars fan like Nick is, I feel like he's still got to worry. The Lions are a lock to win the North now. It's fantastic.
Listen, I think David is literally going to carry them to the chip, man. I swear, I feel it. I don't know why I feel it. I literally feel like they're going to carry them to the chip.
The good thing is he's on fire, and Goff's playing the best football of his career. That's what's exciting. And he actually gives a shit. Like, when Goff was the quarterback, I'm sure he was pissed. Like, I went from LA to Detroit. And, like, after I knew it week 1 when they beat the Chiefs, Kelsey was out. And, okay, fuck you. Who cares? Whoever says that. A win's a win. When they took a final knee, Nick, Jared Goff was pumping up the crowd in Arrowhead. It was electric. So
nobody cares.
Yeah, man. I'm just I'm gonna be tuned in for week 6. Hopefully, I'll give some picks. I was trying to give in some picks last week, but I wasn't able to get on the.
Yeah. Well, Nick sabotaged the system, so we'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Sure.
Hey, man. Hey, we trying to make some money. Turn it down to $1 million.
Do, man. So. Yeah, we'll do. Hey, call in this Sunday. We'll put you on for sure.
I bet. All right, yo,
all right,
doing your thing, all right?
Take it easy, man. That's Jay on the phone lines. Nick, Jay, one of our best callers,
Best callers.
He really is. He's just one of those guys that's there every single season. He brings the heat. He loves Big Web. A lot of people love Big Web.
Big Web's parlay. Hey, man, if you haven't checked him out, go check out Big Web's parlays. I think he's had a couple so far this season already.
He has. And that's the thing is, like, I'll take all the views, but, like, some is, like, hate, some is love. But I'm like, that's the internet, Dad. Like, Dad's on there already, like, chirping back, Nick, at some of these guys on the comments.
Love that.
It's great.
That's what we need.
It's just, he sits there and somebody goes, has this guy ever hit anything? And he just goes, yup, with an exclamation point. It's like, that's a good chirp, Big Web. That's a good one. If you guys want to call in like Jay, WeberBets.com/call, WeberBets.com, and then hit the call button. I keep saying /call. It won't take anywhere. WeberBets.com, all of our links are there, and you hit call. Also, FromThe50.com is where our football show links are. You can find us everywhere on social media, but we're mainly active on Instagram and TikTok, live on YouTube every single Sunday for the NFL season, for the pre-show, I want to say pre-kickoff show. That's what I meant to say. 10:30 a.m. CT, all the way up until kickoff. Nick and myself, sometimes Zook, live on Tuesdays for Fantasy Chat like tonight. And then also me and Big Web live on Wednesdays for Weber Wednesdays. Evan says, would you trade Lamb and Rachaad White for Eckler? Ooh.
Lamb and Rachaad White for Eckler? Yeah, I'd probably do that. Eckler's going to be coming back here pretty soon. So I don't like Rachaad White very much. And you don't really know what Dallas is going to do here with as they're trending in the wrong direction. CeeDee Lamb did not have a good game last week, so I would make that trade. Eckler is one of the better fantasy options out there.
Is Eckler healthy though? Like, is he 100%
That's the question. We don't know if Eckler's healthy. Let me go quickly to the Twitter machine and check it out.
I think he's healthy. He was in last week, but I don't think he's like 100% is the problem.
He's another one of those guys that like is week to week. 99% chance of return versus Cowboys.
Okay.
Going against Cowboys defense this week. I don't know if he's a buy this week, but you could buy low on him.
Yeah. How about me? The great pickup. I picked up Texans defense so I could sit Dallas against the Niners, which Nick ended up being the right choice because Dallas had negative points, but the Texans got 1 point. So
last week I had Buffalo against, I forget who they were playing. They had a tough matchup. Picked up Seattle's defense, 25 points.
Last week they were against Jacksonville.
No,
you're talking about
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's.
I forget who they had.
The defense thing is tough because if you're holding on to a lot of receivers, you're like, can I get rid of this guy? Like, he's a decent flex.
Yeah,
option.
I mean that's where a lot of the points are won or games are won and losses on these defenses, especially with some good ones available. You got to play it matchup to matchup, and I mean right now it's just kind of tough because you're getting into bye weeks, and that certainly throws some things through the loop.
100%. All right, let's get some more comments. Nick's got to get out of here in about 15, 20 minutes. Dylan says, Ramondre for DJ Moore and Javonte, ? Yeah. That is.
What was it?
Ramondre Stevenson for DJ Moore and Javonte Williams.
Hell yeah.
Take it now. Like, get off the stream
and
don't accept the damn trade. Who the hell is doing that trade? DJ Moore should be worth Ramondre and 3 other players at this point.
Yeah. I mean, DJ Moore, one good week. Let's not overreact on him. But, if someone's willing to sell him for that price, sure. Ramondre hasn't done a whole lot this year. DJ Moore, If he can repeat what he did last week, he's definitely a wide receiver one every week.
4th ranked receiver in PPR and ESPN fantasy right now. DJ Moore. Yes, he had a
and but again, that was all off of one game. So
yeah, he had 22 the week before. Don't be hey Nick. I just traded for him. Just don't be.
No, you made a great trade. That's a great trade. I just played him in fantasy. Got fucked in that in the wrongest of ways in fantasy.
I like how you started super dirty and then try to clean it up right there.
Yeah, I know what I got. I could have gone
in just
so
the worst way. It's just like you just kind of flowed right into it. That's a professional right there. Jake said, should I trade Tua and TJ Hawkinson for Burrow and Laporta? Yes, and yeah. Actually, that's pretty even.
Tua, TJ Hawkinson for Burrow, Laporta. I mean, I think it's just kind of which one do you like,
yeah,
really.
It's pretty even.
I think Burrow is going to be better in the later half of the season than he's been so far. I think Tua probably takes a little bit of a step back. I mean, because they've just been freaking red hot.
Yeah.
And they just lost, if you're looking for waiver wire pickups, Jeff Wilson for the Dolphins because Kane is going to be out this week. I think he's going to IR with a knee injury.
You turned into Big Web. You can't pronounce names.
Kane, he's going to IR, so Jeff Wilson would be a good pickup. But I don't know what that's going to do to the Miami offense as much. But I mean, I think it just kind of depends on who you like. I kind of like Hawkinson better than Laporta, but that's just me.
Yeah, Laporta was a massive late round pick for people. I mentioned that early in the season as a Lions fan. It's kind of biased, but the dude's a stud. I
think he's going to get more red zone targets. Hawkinson's probably going to get more targets overall, especially with Jetta's out, and so
yeah.
You're probably going to see more volume from Hawkinson than you would Laporta. Laporta, you're kind of dependent on that touchdown in the red zone.
Yeah, that's true. But I think now that Goff has that trust in him, he's getting to that level where he's he's a number 2 to St. Brown, but not by far, not by much, which is big.
Well, I mean, St. Brown was out this past week too, so he got a little bit more action. If St. Brown's coming back, Jameson Williams coming back, because I think was Williams out this week?
No,
too?
Williams was in, but he had a snap count. He didn't do that. He had 3 points.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean that's kind of there's a little bit more mouths to feed there in Detroit than I would say there are in Minnesota. Minnesota also doesn't really have a run game right now, so still trying to work in Cam Akers.
I was going to say
it could be a nice deep waiver wire pickup.
I picked him up 2 weeks ago just to stash on my bench as a
I don't really know. I mean, if you're looking at waiver wire this week, the guy from the Cardinals, the running back, is a good look.
Oh, I don't even know who their backup running back is. You're talking about the backup to James Conner? I have no idea.
Yeah, it's Emilio something.
Emilio Estevez. He was in Mighty Ducks. He played Gordon Bombay, Nick.
No, I'll find it. I mean, he's actually picked up in some leagues. Some people picked him up last week. But, let's see if we go to Flex. DeMercado. Amari DeMercado.
I never heard of that gentleman's name in my entire life.
My top waiver wire pickup this week is KJ Osborne from the Vikings.
Justin Jefferson. That is the easy number one. I was hoping to get him, but I'm 8th down on the list because I'm actually in the playoffs right now. There's no way I get him. He's number 1 for sure.
Josh Downs available in some leagues.
That's an
Jonathan Mingo.
Indy wide receiver, Josh Downs?
Yeah, Indy wide receiver. Jonathan Mingo on Carolina had an okay week. With 17 points, he's going to be a little bit of a stretch.
All right.
I mean, this is where the waiver wire gets thin, but
yeah,
it's if nobody's picked up that Packers tight end, he could be a look.
Fuck that guy, Luke Musgrave. I've had him 3 different times, and the last time I actually started him, he got 1 point because he got a concussion.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I wish
they're also saying Dante
Foreman
in Chicago could be taking over Khalil Herbert's role in that offense, behind Roschon Johnson, who I believe is now the RB1 there in Chicago.
Really? Interesting.
Yes.
Because of the injuries or just
Dante,
in general?
Again, Dante Foreman. Most of these are deeper league pickups because, waiver wires are going to be thin. But I think DeMercado, KJ Osborne are probably the top 2 right now.
Let's see. Pancho says, "What's up, my guy? Who should I pick up? DeMercado. I'm glad I talked to you before I read the name because I've never heard of the guy before. You just told me. Jeff Wilson or KJ Osborne, half point PPR. Who should I pick up?
So half point PPR, I'm probably going to go running back because I do think Addison and Hawkinson are going to get more action than Osborne is. If you're on
Hmm.
playing on ESPN, 10.8 fantasy points is right now what Osborne's projected, 9.3 for DeMercado. And I think the value in Osborne is going up against the Chicago defense that actually looked okay last week. So
Yeah.
I think it's kind of up to you, but I might even take a flyer on Jeff Wilson just because of how much the Miami offense has been using their run game. You got Raheem Mostert, who's going to get the bulk of those carries, but they're going to get in the red zone, I think, more than the Cardinals would against the Rams. So I probably would lean Jeff Wilson in that situation. DeMercado second, Osborne third if it's half point PPR.
Yeah, I still would go with KJ Osborne. I mean, I think with Jefferson out, I'm not saying that Addison's not going to be the number one. He probably will, but I think that they're both going to get similar targets, and then whoever comes up
Yeah.
bigger, I think, will be Kirk's number one guy. I'd be shocked if it wasn't Addison, but take the chance that Osborne could be the number one for a few weeks. That could
He's
be
getting
big.
average targeted 6 times per game, even with Jefferson playing. So without Jefferson in there, he's probably going to get something more like 10 to 14 targets per game, you would think. And that could allow him to get, anywhere from 10 to 15 points. So if you're
Yeah.
looking for a WR2 flex wide receiver, I think Osborne fits that spot.
Jacob says Monty and Devontae Smith for Pollard and Christian Watson? Question mark.
No,
You're
I
not a big
wouldn't.
Devontae Smith fan.
Not a big Devontae Smith fan. Also, I think that Christian Watson is I mean, he's so up and down, right? Like Jordan
Yeah.
Love, I don't think has fully got a hold of that offense yet. Like when he does, I mean, we watched last night, right, on Monday Night Football. Christian Watson got one ball, right? You got a big play. There were at least two or three other times where Christian Watson was pretty clearly open and could have had like 200 yards receiving, and Love just missed him. So I don't like Watson until Love can get a little bit more accurate with his throws.
Yeah, I don't think Love's very good. I think he's okay. I just don't, he had a really good first few weeks and then has kind of shown like who he really is as a quarterback. Like I think Green Bay fans are just they've been so spoiled with Brett Favre and then Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers. And it's like Jordan Love's not that guy. Like, come on, you're not that
Run
guy,
into the
pal.
same thing the Patriots are too. He's
Oh
had a great
God, they
franchise
are
for so many
dumps. They
years
are.
now,
Whew.
and now you're seeing kind of a shift in momentum in some of these divisions with the top powers sliding down to the bottom, and then the Detroit Lions, the Miami Dolphin type teams rising up to the top.
Yeah, yeah, the Detroit Lions definitely rising to the top. But I tell you what, that Patriots team. I mean, this is the Belichick's got to retire. I think he's done with it. Like he's a guy that I feel like will not be part of a rebuild. Like we thought they were already kind of part of one, but they've always been like close to 500. Now it's like, no, you guys suck. You guys are just bad.
Yeah, the thing with that is, I mean, they're just so like. Someone made a great point about like Bill drafts all these guys, like they're all his guys. So it's like there's not really a whole lot of finger pointing to go on because he's the one that picks them. So
Yeah. No, I'm saying I think he's just kind of lost his fastball. I mean,
yeah, for sure,
I
100%.
mean, maybe not lost his fastball, but he also like got lucky with guys like Edelman and Gronk. I mean, who would have thought Gronk was arguably the best tight end of all time, probably number 2 behind Travis Kelce. But I mean,
Well, and a lot of those guys too are made by the greatest quarterback ever. Like I don't think Julian
Oh.
Edelman or Gronk or anybody on that team is anybody without Brady being Brady. And the defenses really aren't what they used to be. I think that's more the thing than anything else. And not having even a serviceable quarterback. We're seeing some of these quarterbacks, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson in particular. Zach Wilson's got a little bit better over the past.
Desmond
couple
Ritter,
weeks,
but he had a good week last week finally.
yeah, like there's so much inconsistency with quarterback play right now early on in the season that you're gonna see a lot of these growing pains. Even a guy like Dak Prescott been in the league 8 years, fucking sucked.
Dude, so
against
bad.
the Niners.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I traded him too. I drafted him 11th round, thinking that was smart. And the Cowboys are just like so close, but never close enough to win anything real. Like you can see
Well-
right away that they're going to get bounced quick in the playoffs again. They're just not. Their defense is pretty good, but now Diggs out for the season. I know they've been playing
Yeah, that
better.
was
But look who they dominated though. They dominated New England without him. But New England's one of the worst teams in the
Jets,
NFL, and the Jets. So you play anybody real, and like, trust me, I have Dallas defense, so I hope they
lost
play
to
better.
the Cardinals.
But yeah, they lost to the Cardinals. Like Dak is throwing interceptions out the ass now. Like it's It's bad.
Yeah, I mean it's still early-ish in the season. We're almost to the quarter way point or the third way point, whatever. And you're kind of seeing what some of these teams are made of right now. You're really going to be able to see what they're made of over the next 3 to 4 weeks into like week 7, 8, 9, 10. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be tough for Dallas to really continue to make that leap when you lost Trayvon Diggs. Now Vander Esch is banged up. Micah Parsons got banged up last game, so they're definitely struggling.
Agreed. All right, we got 5 more minutes, and then Nick's got to get out of here. I'll go a little bit longer after he's gone, but let's go rapid fire here, Nick, while you're still here. Yeah. Coop says Saquon and Lamar for Bijan and JT. Redraft. What does that mean? Saquon and Lamar for Bijan and JT.
I think sometime. I don't know what the redraft is, but yeah, definitely do that. You definitely want Bijan. Over Saquon. I don't think Saquon's banged up, so Bijan 100%.
JT is a problem too. Zach Moss, what a day last week. I'm not saying that. I mean, JT's still gonna be the guy, but they might split for now. I mean, he played his ass off.
They'll split. Yeah, they'll split. Zach Moss, undrafted free or unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, so he's gonna be wanting to play and get his time shown so he can get paid again and maybe get a number one role somewhere else. But I think they'll play them both. But I think JT's still up in that trade. Bijan is worth the other two guys alone.
Yeah.
Assuming you have an okay quarterback, you don't need Lamar. He's not super fantasy flashy.
Yeah. Lamar's actually struggled a lot this year, which is surprising.
Yeah. He's
been really good and then really bad. So
if it was Josh Allen or Justin Herbert or Courtois, quarterback that's putting up numbers, I think may think a little bit differently.
Why do you hate Jared Goff? I didn't hear Jared Goff's name in that list.
Is he putting up good fantasy numbers?
Hell yeah. I sat him on the bench, and he got 3 touchdowns in the first half. I said, he doesn't have any weapons today. He's going to suck. And started Stafford, and I barely won. And I had DJ Moore.
Yeah, that's tough.
How'd I know you're going to say that? I'm going to get Nick a shirt for Christmas that says, "That's tough." The amount of times he's told me that when we've been podcasting together for the last 5 years,
that's tough.
Probably in the thousands. That's tough. Yeah.
That's tough.
Levito says, should I trade Achane? No, don't panic on him. He's out 4 weeks, but I mean, it is a knee injury, but it's not serious, right? It's just like, serious enough to go on the IR, but.
And again, depends on who you can get, right? Like if you want to go try to win 4 more weeks, like is he going to be the same guy he was for the first 4 weeks of the season? Probably not. Coming off an injury, are they going to work him in as much? Like you got Jeff Wilson now, so like Miami's got like 4 running backs, which is unfortunate because they try to work them all in there.
Yeah. Well, that's how the Eagles were for a long time, and then Swift finally kind of took the reins there.
Yeah.
So it just happens.
I think on that Achane trade, I think it just depends on who you're getting for him. Like if you're getting good value in return, maybe make the trade.
I will say, don't trade him if you're a dynasty guy. I mean, he's going to be a stud. I feel like.
No. I got that's number one.
Yeah, that's a huge.
I love
pickup.
My running backs. I got Roshan, Achane, Kyron Williams, and Jaylen Warren all this year.
Nice.
Just replenish the stable of running backs.
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
It's good.
Rate my 10-man team, 10-man league team. That's from John. We got Diggs, DJ Moore, Thielen, Ridley, Saquon, Kyron, Mixon, Pacheco, Ford, Pittman, Kittle. Oh, your receivers are really good. Thielen actually is like quietly one of the top fantasy receivers. I know because he's on the worst team in the NFL. But he's actually putting up like decent numbers. I think he's definitely top 15. He might be top 10. But Thielen's surprisingly up there. So, and then Ridley. Those are 4 solid receivers. Saquon has been a bust again. The guy cannot stay healthy in his career.
No.
It's just, I feel bad for him too because he took a 1-year deal betting on himself and he got hurt again, man. It's just terrible.
Do you think I should trade Devontae Adams?
Who are you looking to get?
Running backs, really. I have Kenneth Walker and Zach Moss, my running backs right now. I lost Nick Chubb, so
tough. Yeah.
But I only have Christian Watson and like Cortland Sutton and Drake London and my other wide receivers.
God, your team's
and then
brutal.
Devontae's my number one.
Tough. I would try to, if you're really focusing on running back, I still think Kyron is a guy that people are a little worried about just because he has up and down weeks. But I think if you're in full point PPR, I think he's a massive get this year. I think he'll end up being a top 10 running back, and then
trade like Devontae for like Kyron Williams
and another receiver. Yeah, like maybe you probably won't get a Devontae Smith, and obviously it depends who's on that guy's team. But I'm trying to think of a mid tier like wide receiver 2 that you could probably get with Kyron. maybe a Marquise Brown. I mean, maybe he's getting up to wide receiver 1 level. He's starting to put up numbers.
Yeah, not bad.
But maybe those two. I don't know. It depends who is on that.
I need to
team.
see who has Kyron.
Kyron's the guy that I think people with Devontae would get their attention.
Yeah.
So see what receivers he has too. I think that might go.
You got Metcalf and Ayuk. He's got McLaurin on the bench.
Terry, you might, yeah.
Romeo Dobbs.
You might be able to say, hey, I'll take Kyron and DK for Devontae. He won't do it, but that would be, if he goes for it, that's a massive trade for you, I think.
Kyron and DK, ooh, that would be.
Because I think that's worth it. It's actually not that far skewed, but I mean, you got the sexy name in Devontae Adams. That's a name people stop and look at the trade for. And then if they say no, you could probably take Terry and Kyron. I don't know if that's too little. Just because I have Terry McLaurin, Nick. I started him in flex last week, and the guy wasn't even on the field for the last 4 plays when they were driving, trying to tie the game almost. So I don't know what they're doing in Washington, but
or Kyron and Jordan Addison.
Oh, he's got a lot of receivers.
Yeah, he's got a lot of wide receivers.
That's good for you. So if he is willing to trade Kyron, maybe Jordan Addison, Kyron, that'd be a nice little bundle.
Jordan Addison, Kyron for DK. I'm gonna send that over or for Devontae.
Yeah, for Devontae. I think might go for it. I mean, he's got a lot of receivers. That is definitely an upgrade at receiver if Devontae becomes the player he used to be. So he might take a shot at it. Who's his other running backs though?
Let's see his other running backs. He's got Derrick Henry.
Okay.
James Conner, Tajay Spears, Kenneth Gainwell. He's got some guys on IR.
The Conner injury might hurt you a little bit on that trade.
Yeah, he kind of needs Kyron.
Well,
right
just
now.
throw him a backup running back. Throw him could you have any bench running backs you can throw him? Throw him 3 players. Shit, let's go.
I got Jaylen Warren. Yeah.
Throw him Jaylen Warren in there, a sweetener.
I got Najee Harris.
Yeah, get rid of him if he's willing to take him. He's the biggest fantasy bust in a long time.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, you got to go. You out of here?
Yes, sir. I got to jump.
All right. The great Nick Yale, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining in, Nick, and we'll see you on Saturday or Sunday.
See you Sunday.
All right, brother. That's the great Nick Yale from Dallas, Texas. This is From the 50. This is Fantasy Chat here for Week 6 of the NFL. Weber Betts, TJ Weber, hanging out with you. I'll still answer some more questions and get this thing going here on this Tuesday night. So send in your fantasy questions. Again, if you missed any of the show, we're also live every single Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday on YouTube. You can follow From the 50. It's fromthe50.com, fromthe50.com, and you can find all of our links there. And then if you don't want to watch the video on YouTube, you can listen to our podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts. It's From the 50. Again, links are on fromthe50.com. Devin says Pitts or Logan Thomas this week. Now, here's the deal. I have not seen who is playing who yet. So that's the problem. This is really early in the week where I haven't looked completely yet. So let's take a look here. Kyle Pitts. So the Falcons are playing Washington at home. Logan Thomas. Oh, they're playing each other. I'm going to go ahead. Man, Logan Thomas had a massive week last week. Just because of upside, because I think Sam Howell's been putting up a ton of yards. Go ahead and go with Logan Thomas. See if he has back-to-back good weeks. I like Logan Thomas over Kyle Pitts. Should I trade JJ? I have Adams, Allen, and Devontae Smith as my other receivers. That's from Colton. Again, I would say it depends on your record. I mean, if you're 1-4 at this point, maybe it would be smart to trade JJ if he's out 4 weeks and try to make a run, get some good trade value out of him at this point. It's tough to trade Justin Jefferson. If you're sitting pretty right now and you're going to make the playoffs, you think, even with Jefferson out, I would hang tight with JJ. But that's tough, man. You got a lot of receivers, though, so I don't know. That's hard. You got to hang on to all 3 of the other guys, even if you hold on to JJ, I think. But if you want to trade, I would say trade if you are a little lower in the league. That's what I would say. I don't know what you can get out of him. I told Nick, he's got Devontae. I still think you can get probably an RB1 and maybe a flex wide receiver out of JJ probably. another name people are going to jump at. So I could see a good trade for you there. Should I trade Devontae Adams for Jefferson? Or wait, I traded Devontae Adams for Jefferson, but I got a solid receiver for him. What do we think? I'm misunderstanding. Trade Devontae Adams for Jefferson, but I got a solid wide receiver for him. What do we think? I don't understand. That's a good. Okay, I'm gonna skip that one. I traded Bijan and Waddle for Chase and ETN. Did I win this trade? That's from Jake. Bijan and Waddle for Chase and ETN. Damn, dude, that's a great trade. I think Bijan is very good. Nick is very high on Bijan, but Chase is the real deal. You just saw, what he did last week. Burrow is going to get back to normal. You kind of saw it a little bit last week. And ETN's in ESPN leagues, he's top 10 fantasy running back right now. So it's tough. Waddle's been inconsistent. Bijan definitely tough to trade, but for Chase and ETN, I think I would have done the same thing. I like it. Trade Mac Jones to Minnesota for Cousins. Straight up trade. Let's see what happens. That would be, I don't think it would help either team that much, but I don't think the Patriots are really good even if Mac goes somewhere else. But also, why would Minnesota want Mac Jones? Because of Kirk's contract stuff? Maybe. That'll never happen. I still wanted to see Kirk go to the New York Jets just because why not? Because maybe he gives them a better chance than Zach Wilson. I don't know. Let's see. I have Thielen, Myers, Evans, Kirk, and Smith. Who should I start this week? That's a lot of names. We don't have enough time. I'm trying to get through as many questions as I can. Thielen, Myers, Evans, Kirk. Okay. The Lions are playing Tampa. I know that. Evans is probably the best start out of all of those guys, though. All right, I'll go Evans. Are you starting a flex too? Okay, I'll go Evans. Shit. Thielen and Devontae Smith. There you go. What wide receiver can I get for trading 2 out of the 3? Michael Pittman, Devontae Smith, Jahmyr Gibbs. Good question. 2 out of the 3, you want to get a receiver. I would probably keep... Okay, as a Lions fan, I would say keep Gibbs, but obviously I understand why you trade him. Let's go ahead and trade Gibbs. So you put Gibbs in a spot with probably better value out of Devontae Smith if you don't need Devontae Smith. If you have other good receivers, if those are your only 2 receivers, Pittman and Smith, then keep Devontae Smith. But otherwise, the best value, Gibbs and Devontae Smith, could probably get you, off the top of my head, I don't know. Let's think. A low-tier wide receiver 1. It's like a Keenan Allen, maybe. He might even be a wide receiver 2. Who else? I'm not good at this. Just thinking of random names for trades. Yeah. Maybe an A.J. Brown, maybe. I don't know, man. Sorry. Hopefully I helped. Trade CD for Monty. That's from Jacob. Monty's legit, man. I will say, I don't think I've been upset that Gibbs hasn't gotten a lot of opportunity, but I think Monty, the way he's running it, Campbell's going to be leaning on him all season. Jay called in earlier and said the same thing. Monty's the real deal right now. So, yeah, I probably would do it if you're needing a running back. I haven't really checked CD stats this year, but Dallas has been inconsistent. So, I like that trade for sure. Ben says, hey, man, I got Diggs, Olave, Debo, Goddard, Dalton, Schultz. Should I trade Debo and Goddard for CD? Hey, man, I have Diggs, Olave, Debo, Goddard, Dalton, Schultz. Should I trade Debo and Goddard for CD? Man. Yeah, I agree you keep Diggs, and I would probably keep Olave. Debo is inconsistent. He's had 2 breakout weeks. Was it weeks 2 and 3 or 3 and 4? Because somebody just tried to trade him to me this week. So I know he had 2 really big weeks. Other than that, he's been kind of back and forth. You can't trust him all the time now with McCaffrey running that offense pretty much. And Ayuk's been the better receiver out of the 2 this season between him and Debo. So I would trade Debo and Goddard. I get why you trade him with Schultz. I would probably do that, yeah. If you trust CD, it's Dallas's offense is tough to figure out, but he is still the number 1. I don't think Dak is terrible. I just don't think he's really great. But that's a decent wide receiver to get, and him and Diggs could be a nice 1-2 punch at wideout, and then possibly Olave at flex, and then for bye weeks, that might work out. Yeah, I'd probably do it. Should I trade Bijan for Kamara and CD? That's from Tyler. A lot of CD Lamb trades. Interesting. Kamara, if you're in a PPR league, 100%, I think I would do that because the dude's been getting what is it? He had, I don't know, over 10 receptions his first week back. I don't know what he had this week. I think he was over 14 or 15 points again. If he could keep up those numbers in PPR leagues, I would go after him. I know Bijan's a tough guy to trade, but if you can get a number one receiver and Kamara, I'd probably do it. Let's see. Should I trade Pittman and Gibbs for Olave? That's from Matthew. That's a good question. Richardson out. I don't know who. I'm blanking. Gardner Minshew was really throwing to a lot on Sunday. I guess Pittman's still the main guy in Indy. Man, here's my thing about Olave. I know he's the number one in New Orleans. I still feel like Michael Thomas is going to make another step this season, but I have him. He's been fine. So what do I know? That's tough. That's tough to do. I still see some upside in Gibbs. It's just I understand why you trade him. So that's pretty even to me. It's up to you. I would keep Gibbs out of that trade. If you can go Pittman straight up for Olave, which I know probably won't happen, try it. You never know. But I would not get rid of Gibbs at this point. Tough trade. Very tough trade. Let's see. Varco says, would you trade Kelsey and Christian Kirk for Fields, Mike Evans, and Kyron? I have Achane, and he's injured. Would you trade Kelsey and Christian Kirk for Justin Fields, Mike Evans, and Kyron? I don't think so, man. You got any receivers you can trade besides Kirk? I mean, Kelsey is just, again, he's got a monopoly in the tight end position. I understand there's other tight ends like a Sam Laporta and Hawkinson and Mark Andrews that are all up there, but Kelsey is far and away the number one. It's hard to trade a guy like Kelsey, but as I said before about somebody wanting to trade Jefferson being out 4 weeks, if you're 1-4, if you need to make a big move, especially now that you have an injury with Achane, it might be the right move to trade Kelsey. I don't know, man. To me, trading Travis Kelsey is always a bad idea. So I would probably stay away. Maybe try to see if you can package one of your receivers. I would not trade Kelsey, though. That's just me. It's hard to replace a tight end. I also didn't see if you had a good backup tight end. That could also change my mind. Tyler says, Sam Laporta and Christian Watson for CD. I have Andrews at tight end already. Yeah, I would do that. So Laporta, as a Lions fan, I love Laporta. I think he's got a lot of upside as well. But if you already got Andrews, if you're not going to start Laporta at flex, by the way, big fan of the two tight end thing, the tight end flex, start two tight ends. I've done that before. I kind of like it. You could do it with those two, but I understand getting CD with not needing Laporta. So, yeah, that's a good trade. I have Laporta on my bench, and I'm 4-1 in the league with Kelsey. You have Laporta on your bench? Dude, now I understand why you're trying to trade Kelsey. Why don't you try to package Laporta instead of Kelsey? See if they'll go for it. Maybe not. I don't know. It depends on how the other guy's season's going too. If he's needing to make a move, doesn't have a good tight end, you trade Laporta and Christian Watson. Maybe throw in one other flex receiver if you have one on the bench. I would not trade Kelsey, but Laporta is a great trade chip too. But I get why you would trade Kelsey. Laporta is a big time tight end, so I understand him stepping in. But Kelsey is still by far number one tight end. It's hard to trade him still. I still stand by that. Liam says start Herbert or Tua, and Addison or Flowers. So Herbert or Tua. Who are the Chargers playing this weekend? Chargers. Where are you guys at? Monday night against Dallas, and then the Dolphins are playing. This is good when I don't know the matchups until Tuesday. It's early still. I'm looking at all the matchups against Carolina. Yeah, Tua for sure, and then Addison or Flowers. Minnesota's playing the Bears, and the Ravens. Who are the Ravens playing? Tennessee. In Tennessee. Yeah, I'd probably go with Jordan Addison there. I'm excited to see what he can do fantasy-wise without Jefferson there and against the Bears defense. Perfect week to start Jordan Addison, so I like that. Let's see. Hey, man, traded Keenan for Ridley and Brees. What do you think? That's from Trimble. Traded Keenan Keenan Allen, I guess. Keenan Allen for Ridley and Breece. What do you think? Hell of a trade, my man. Hell of a trade. Breece Hall has gotten way more carries in the last couple weeks. So you got pretty much number one running back, and then Calvin Ridley is also, Trevor's top target. So I love it. That's a fantastic trade. Well done. Should I start Addison or Pacheco? That's from Mylan. Yeah, I would still go with Addison there. Pacheco's just, I feel like he's so touchdown needy to be productive in fantasy. He's a hell of a runner. He's a great running back to have if an RB2 or flex, but I would start Addison over Pacheco. I think he's got more upside, especially with Jay Jetta's out. You guys can follow FromThe50.com, FromThe50.com. Check out all of our links. We're live on TikTok every single Tuesday for Fantasy Chat. Weber Wednesdays with me and Big Web. And also Sunday, the Sunday live show from 10:30 a.m. CT all the way up until kickoff. If you missed any of the show, you want to watch the full thing, you can check us out on YouTube. Again, the link is FromThe50.com. You can find our YouTube link on there for our full shows, full streams. But also, if you just want to listen to the podcast on the way to work, you can check it out. It's Apple Podcasts, From the 50. Again, the link is on our website, FromThe50.com. And it's not really a website. It's more of a web page with our links. Easy to find, easy to follow. We're mainly active on TikTok and Instagram, so I appreciate you guys. My name's TJ Weber, at Weber Bets on social media. Do a lot of gambling, sports betting, casino humor, all that good stuff. Really enjoy hosting podcasts and everything, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's keep going, man. This is fun stuff. I probably got about 5 more minutes or so. I gotta get going, but having fun, man. I love answering fantasy questions. All right. Should I trade Diggs for CD and DJ Moore? I have Keenan Allen, Waddle, Michael Thomas, and Nico Collins. Justin Fields. It's from Justin Fields is him. So trade Diggs for CD and DJ Moore. Why do you need so many receivers? So if you traded Diggs, you would have CD, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Waddle, Michael Thomas, and Nico Collins. That's a lot of receivers, man. I can't disagree, though. DJ Moore is one of the top pickups right now. If you can get him in a trade and CD's a number one for Diggs, that's tough. I'd probably do it. I don't know if you need him, but I can't pass that up. That's good value. That's a lot of receivers. It's like an 8-man league right there. That's crazy. Let's see. Travis says, trade AJ for Jacobs. I have Hill and Kupp. My best running back is Kyron. Is that AJ Brown, I'm guessing? Trade AJ Brown for Jacobs. I have Hill and Kupp. God dang, dude. How are you guys getting these teams? Those receivers are stacked, man. AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, and Cooper Kupp. How in the hell? I don't know. I wouldn't do AJ straight up for Jacobs. I think Jacobs has been kind of a letdown this year, hasn't he? I haven't paid attention completely, but I don't think he definitely has not been the same player as last year as far as fantasy goes. So if you're gonna do it, I would definitely get some more value there, man. Should I trade Josh Jacobs and Waddle for Kupp? It's from Samir. Yeah, I would do that. If you're set on running backs, Kupp is definitely going to be getting targets from Stafford like crazy. You already saw, with Puka Nacua, I wasn't sure how they were going to split targets. Kupp is still easily the number one. As long as he's healthy, he's definitely the guy with the Rams. So I would do that trade. Yep. Jack says Mixon for Aaron Jones. No, man, I would hold off on Mixon. I'm biased. I have Mixon on my team too, but I don't think Aaron Jones is that guy this year. Already kind of losing a lot of goal line touches with A.J. Dillon. I don't think the Packers' offense is really – they're just not the same, obviously, without Rodgers, and I just don't think they're running the right offense with Jones. He's been hurt here and there, just always just inconsistent. I don't know if I trust Aaron Jones, and to me, Mixon will have a couple breakout weeks, and that's worth it. I would not trade him for Aaron Jones. Would not do it. I have Purdy. Should I trade Lamar Jackson for a running back or wide receiver? That's from Allen. Yes. Yeah, I would. I don't know who you can get out of him, but Purdy should put up decent numbers. Lamar should be higher upside guy. Like, he'll have bigger weeks than Purdy, certain weeks. But as far as overall, like, season numbers, I mean, Lamar has struggled. Like, I feel like the quarterback position in fantasy has definitely been overvalued at times, depending on your league. Like, some leagues, quarterback touchdowns count as like 10 or something crazy. Ours is standard, like 6 points for a touchdown, the yardage, all that shit. So, I don't know. Lamar used to be a top fantasy quarterback. He's still, I guess, top 10, but just not consistent. You can't count on him every week. So, yeah, I mean, if you can get a decent running back or receiver, I'd do it. And Purdy's putting decent numbers up for you. So, yeah, I would probably do it for sure. Robert says, I have A.J. Brown, Thielen, Sutton. I lost it, sorry. I have A.J. Brown, Thielen, Sutton, and Myers. Should I sell J.J.? That's from Robert. A.J. Brown, Thielen, Sutton, and Myers. Should I sell J.J.? I don't think so, man. Now, if you sell J.J., who are you going to get is the question. I mean, if you get another receiver that's better than Thielen, then yeah. Because right now, Thielen's your number 2, and I did say he's a top 10 or 15, I forgot what it was, receiver in fantasy and ESPN right now. But, I mean, imagine when J.J. comes back, though. I mean, you got a great 1-2 punch with him and Brown. So, I understand if you're, again, it depends on your record. Kind of like I said before, if you're desperate and you need to make a move, then do it. Don't wait on J.J., but if he's going to come back and you're going to make the playoffs, like, that's all you got to do is make the playoffs, and you got Jefferson back. Like, it's a tough guy to trade and would be pretty good for you for the playoffs. So I don't know if I would do it, but it depends who you get. It's if you can get another top receiver who's healthy, then go for it. G says Kittle and Addison for Jonathan. I got a lot of comments. I love it, man. A lot of comments. Isaiah and Everett, thank you guys for the emojis. Appreciate it. Kittle and Addison for Jonathan Taylor. That's from G. And sorry if I missed some of your guys' comments, guys. They're coming in like a slot machine. We got a lot of people watching. I appreciate it. No, I wouldn't do that, man. JT, I mean, after what happened last week with Zach Moss, I don't know if you can trade for him right now. You just got to wait and see what his usage is going to be. Like, Zach Moss had an insane game. He's going to at least get probably split carries with JT for a bit. And then Kittle had a massive week, and Addison is going to have some massive weeks with Jefferson out. I would not do it. Unless if you're getting Kittle and Addison, do it. If you're trading them away, I would not do it. I would not. Madison and Deontay for Nakua. Full point PPR. It's from user 178411534. Deontay Johnson? Is he even healthy? Am I missing another Deontay? If that's Deontay Johnson and Madison for Puka Nakua, I mean, get off TikTok and do it now. There's no way that's a real trade. That's crazy. If it's real, do it. Styes says James Cook and Wilson for Stevenson and Myers, half-point PPR. James Cook and is that Garrett Wilson for Stevenson and Myers? Yeah, I would hang on to Wilson, and I would hang on to James Cook over Stevenson. I don't think you can trust New England at all right now, especially on offense. And plus, they've been giving Zeke opportunities too. I don't trust Ramondre Stevenson, man. I was worried about that early in the season about drafting him because of Zeke. Like, that's how Belichick is, man. Whoever the hot hand is, whoever's performing, that's who he's gonna start at running back. Like, he changes it all the time. He did it last year with Damian Harris. Ramondre Stevenson took Harris's job. Zeke came in and it hasn't taken his job, but he's taken away carries. I don't think I'd do that. For sure not. Goated says, should I trade Gibbs and Puka for Pollard? Full point PPR. Man, these are good questions. Really good questions. I don't know. That's tough. I'll go ahead and say yes. I will say Cooper Kupp coming back and being Stafford's number 1 by a good margin is, it shows you that Nakua might take a step back. But Nakua still had a big week last week too. So they could both kind of do their thing. And Gibbs also, you know what? I'm changing my mind. Don't trade Gibbs and Puka. I think there's too much upside there. Probably not worth it for Pollard. So, no, I I'd keep Puka Nacua and Gibbs. There could be upside there. Could be upside. Got to take chances in fantasy. I think that could you might regret that one. Luke says trade JJ and Josh Allen for Debo and Lamb. Trade JJ and Josh Allen for Debo and Lamb. Man, I don't think so, man. This is kind of the name recognition thing. Like Debo used to be massive fantasy guy. Things have changed. Like he is not the same player. He's good. He's had 2 great weeks especially, but he's inconsistent. And CD, I've been saying trade for him, but when you're giving up Jefferson, I know he's out 4 weeks at least, and Josh Allen, I don't think so. Wouldn't do it, man. If you really want to get one of those guys and you're just wanting to get rid of Jefferson, like, don't put Josh Allen into it unless you have, for some reason, another top quarterback. But take Josh Allen out and trade one of those guys. Trade JJ for Debo and another running back or something. I wouldn't give both JJ and Josh Allen up. That's just me. But I wouldn't do it. All right, 2 more, and then we're going to wrap this one up. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Let's see. Kyle says, I have Diggs, Puka, Chase. Wow. Should I trade Waddle and DJ Moore for Achane and Gibbs? Holy shit. How do you guys get all these receivers? I mean, this has to be an 8-man league, a 5-man league or some shit. Diggs, Puka Nacua, Chase. You must have drafted Nacua like late in the draft. That's a good draft. Waddle and DJ Moore. I mean, that's a hell of a team. I mean, Achane's out for a few weeks, and like Nick said, the Dolphins have a lot of running backs, so I know he's been really good, though. I wouldn't do it, man. I would definitely hang on to Moore, but kind of like what I said last time, like, I said take Josh Allen out of that last guy's trade and trade Jefferson if you want to get rid of him because he's out 4 weeks. Do the same thing here. Keep Moore, because I think you're going to regret that one. I mean, I know you got 4 receivers. You can't play all 4, but that's a good problem to have. Take Moore out of the trade. Trade Waddle for maybe for Achane straight up. I mean, they might take Achane straight up if he's hurt right now. So I'd go for that. Hopefully that helps. I'm not used to having these like crazy teams. I'm in a 12-man PPR league. Like, we don't get teams like that. Like, we are like really, really trying to find flex plays like on the waiver wire every week sometimes. Like, it's competitive, which is awesome, but I am jealous of those type of teams. That must be fun to score that amount of points. Platty Daddy, TJ looking better than ever. Platty Daddy, finally. He always hits on my dad when Big Web's on the stream, but now he's telling me I look good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Platty Daddy, one of our best texters for sure. Gotta love it. All right, one more, and then we're going to wrap this one up. Great stream tonight. Great stream. Loving it. Jordan says, I have Kamara, Montgomery, and Bijan. What receiver should I trade for? Kamara, Montgomery, and Bijan. What receiver should I trade for here? So you're asking me who I should trade out of the 3 and then what receiver to go after? Well, you got upside on all those guys. It depends how needy you are at receiver, but I mean, the 1-2 punch of Kamara and Bijan is pretty lethal. I wouldn't change that. So I would probably trade Monty, and you could probably get a wide receiver too. So probably not Jordan Addison anymore. Maybe Montgomery, and if you have another receiver on your bench, you might be able to get Jordan Addison. I don't know. I'm just guessing, dude. I'm totally guessing. But yeah, I mean, if you can get Jordan Addison, I think it's a big pickup right now for sure. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Awesome stream. Appreciate you guys. Really enjoy doing this stuff. This is Fantasy Chat. We are live every single Tuesday night. Me and Nick Yale. Nick had to bounce early. Zach Zook also on from time to time. And then also, Xander, I'll answer yours in a minute. Let me get through my spiel. I apologize for skipping you. It's hard, man. We got a lot of comments, but you got my attention. I will read yours to finish off the show. But, yeah, me and Nick Yale every Tuesday doing Fantasy Chat. Weber Wednesdays with me and Big Web, talking about all the spreads and everything, getting you ready for your parlays this weekend. And then Sunday, we are live every Sunday during the football season from 10:30 a.m. CT all the way up until kickoff. And we'll be live on YouTube for the full broadcast, live on TikTok on From the 50, and on Weber Bets. Also, shout out reminder to download the SeatGeek app. First purchase on SeatGeek, if you use promo code WeberBets, that's WeberBets, you get $20 off your first purchase just for using promo code WeberBets. That's SeatGeek.com. All right, Xander, you're the last question, man. I traded Devontae Smith for Joe Mixon. What do you think about it? You keep skipping me. Sorry, man. We got a lot of comments. Appreciate you watching. Traded Devontae Smith for Joe Mixon. We will see. I mean, both players have been definitely underwhelming this year. I think Mixon's going to have a bounce back at some point. He always has massive weeks. He's just not consistent all the way through. But Devontae Smith, there's a lot of great players on the Eagles' offense. It's just tough for Smith. He actually got pissed off and kind of was kind of pouting on the sideline to Nick Sirianni this past Sunday. So I don't think he's very happy. But they both have their weeks, so it depends what you need. If you need a running back, which I think you did, I don't think Mixon's a bad pickup. So there you go. All right, guys, that'll do it. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. This has been Fantasy Chat on From the 50, from the50.com. Take it easy. See ya.